gross. Then
Hi, my name is Nicholas, and man is inherently evil. Okay? We're just born that way. For example, take Hasan here. She, took time out of her day to look nice, and just out of curiosity, how many people asked or told you that you look good today?
Nobody.
No. But you could say, oh, I just said that you look nice. That's true. I did. But for my own selfish reasons. The truth is, despite how great you might look today, I wouldn't have said anything. Because Webster defines evil as virtually, or a vicious wrongdoing. Something opposite of good, sinful, wicked. It also defines good as morally good, morally correct, excellent, righteous, pious. A philosopher by the name of Wing-Sit Chan once said, if you let people go on their natural feelings, then they will be able to do good. This is what is meant by the saying that humankind is good, human nature is good. If a man does evil, then it is not his fault because of his natural endowment. Now, good and evil has been around since the dawn of time. Without good, there can be no evil, and vice versa. So that's why, if you were born evil, then there should be good in the world. I believe everyone's born evil, but has the ability to change to good. In biblical terms, in religious terms, or circumstances, there's Christian, Islamic, and Jewish. And they all believe that there's some higher being, some sort of God that is pure and almighty and good, and that we as people are sinful and we're born, which is bad nature. And from a scientific standpoint, there's also experiments conducted to prove these type of readings and teachings. For example, there was a Stanford prison experiment. And in that experiment, 24 out of 24 students, when given absolute power, and turned on their fellow students and abused and tortured them. The experiment worked as a group was classified as prisoners and a group was prison guards. And they were just normal students like you and I. And they turned on their fellow students and made them, do push-ups, and just every day they'd wake them up every 2 hours just to keep them on their feet. And the experiment was scheduled for 2 weeks, but was curtailed to 6 days because of the traumatic effect that it left on the prisoners. Even after that experiment, it took a couple years for a few people to recover, and even still they're not fully recovered. There was also a Milgram experiment where people were given from an authoritative figure, they were given the instruction to shock someone. And 87% of the people that were given the instruction from the higher power carried through with it and administered a 450-volt shock on someone that they didn't know. But they could hear them screaming, they could hear them passing out, and they still did it, even though they knew it was harmful and detrimental to health. Also, Charles Darwin, he believed in survival of the fittest. So it's in our nature to survive. Someone was, say you were on an island and it was you, your brother, and your mother. If you believed that after a while, when the food supply diminished that you would revert to your natural instincts, and you would revert to cannibalism, and actually kill the other two, because that's just how it works. Darwin believes. A person that believed this also was Adolf Hitler. Now, 90% of people, when asked who the most evil person is, 90% of them or greater will tell you it's Adolf Hitler. This was a man that was born just like you and I, and he slaughtered and tortured millions of innocent people just from pure hatred. And that hatred wasn't, taught to him, because if something's taught to you, it can also be unlearned. That's just how science works. It wasn't taught to him. It was just in his mind that, I don't like this race for some reason. So he killed millions of Jews, millions of innocent people just for the way they looked, or the race they participated in, the religion they liked. And now the first quote I'd like to follow up with this one. There is none righteous. No, not one. Now, while my first was from the great Chinese philosopher Wing Chang. The second one was from a simple desert handyman named Jesus. I know that it's a very heated topic, and I understand there are two sides to it, but everyone can do good, but they're originally born evil. If you set man and left him to his own devices, he will revert back to his natural tendencies.
Thank you.
Any questions? Or?
You guys have any questions on evilness?
Yes, sir.
Goodness? Yeah.
In the premise that you're stating that all men are born evil, wouldn't that eliminate free will to make a choice? Doesn't man have free will to make a decision on if he's going to choose the path of evil or good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, I believe that they're born evil, but they have the choice. It's two kind of different things. They can continue down their path, like their normal tendencies, or maybe if they're influenced from some good, then they'll maybe try and carry on with that.
So the influences is what you're saying.
Influence, yeah.
The decision, which
exactly.
way they go.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just curious.
Your questions?
I kind of got really stuck on that right there. And what it brought to mind is, I can think now, with modern technology, how sometime, especially like down in South America, and recently they just did a documentary on the people that live near the Euphrates, where it was actually like a Garden of Eden, where they still live basically like they did thousands and thousands of years ago. And I'm really making more of a comment than a question. You know, and as I observe these cultures, and I think about when people came to this country, I mean, the natives here and the natives in those places, when they got discovered, you didn't go in there and discover people being violent and being destructive. You went in and found calm, peaceful atmosphere with love and tranquility. So that just appears to be common knowledge. So I'm kind of,
well, I mean,
I'd like to know, I'd like to see your source where you got where it says that people are born evil. You know?
Well, from the Bible, they have a lot of psalms and quotes and sayings in that. There was a Romans 7:18, I believe, where it actually stated man is evil. But that's religious. It's not, it's not a guaranteed proven. It's a religious thing. So it depends on what you believe in. With what you were saying, the type of Garden of Eden.
Indigenous people areas where they're found in South America is what he's talking about.
I believe,